Hey guys, it's Mars. Welcome back to Harpies in the Trees, where I review horror books with a supernatural focus. In today's video, it is a new episode of Indie Nightmares, episode 8. So don't go anywhere because I have 5 books to share with you that are dark supernatural fantasy, Western horror, post-apocalyptic horror, and comedic horror. I really love doing this series because as a horror fan, sometimes I feel like I want something new or different, and sometimes I can find that in indie horror, indie films, indie books, indie series, indie channels, so I get really excited because it's sort of like, you might find something really, really special. So I'm always really intrigued to see, what's coming in for this series. So it's really exciting. So I hope that you like it and you find something that you want to pick up today, because it'll definitely make the author's day, it'll make my day, and you will maybe discover something really cool. If you see any books here that really catch your eye and you just have to read, the links to purchase are down in the description box. If you're a horror author and you want to submit your book for this series, there is a link down in the description. There's only 3 requisites. 1, you are an indie author. 2, it's horror. And 3, there's a link for us to purchase your book. Before we jump into the video, be sure to like and comment down below. Let us know, are there any books here that sounded really interesting to you? Is there anything that you're definitely gonna pick up? And if you would like more videos like these, please hit the subscribe button. So our very first story is a book that was picked by my patrons on Patreon. I send them a group of books and I ask them to pick out the one that they think should feature in the next episode. And this was the winner, and it's really good. And I'm really glad that they picked this one. This is Tales of Horror and Madness by Colin C. Martin. And this is a dark fantasy circus horror, which is why I'm looking a little like a dark circus, a little bit right today. This is my inspiration. And it has a interesting synopsis. It's kind of a character in itself. So I'm just going to read that to you as it is. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you from this world and the next, the circus has always been a source of wonder and joy. With their bright lights, colors, and characters bringing smiles and laughter to families for generations. Those same things can also be a source of terror, bringing out deep-seated fear and nightmares in some. Here we take a trip to the darker side of the slideshow. Enter if you dare. So this sounds really cool. I just wish that there were a few lines about maybe what some of the individual stories were about, but I'm still really into this because I love the whole dark circus thing. Like dark circuses and dark fairs, dark carnivals, like whatever. I don't know what it is. I just have this like affinity for it. I'm not afraid of clowns though, and I'm also not afraid of dolls. I feel like those kind of go hand in hand. That's probably why I want to hang out with Pennywise so bad. And I love doing things at night. So a circus at night, that'd be so cool. I don't think I've ever been to a circus at night. Going forward for the patrons pick, I will be also including information about the author. Colin is a big fan of fantasy and horror and science fiction. His main influences being Sir Terry Pratchett, Raymond E. Feist, Wes Craven. He's also been a part of a lot of podcasts like Satanic Storytime and the Horrific Podcast. He is also a British Army veteran and is a data analyst by trade. He is from East Belfast in Northern Ireland. The Adversary. This is a Western horror that takes place in an alternate America of that time. John Robinson had it all: a loving wife, beautiful daughters, and a fortune in 1800s banking. But a phantom killer shattered his happiness, leaving distorted memories. Plagued by nightmares, John abandons everything, seeking revenge in the American West. Yet a brain tumor threatens his quest, leaving justice uncertain. Years prior, the Vaquero pursued Wesley Nelson, a notorious serial killer. Though presumed dead, Nelson's legacy haunts the Vaquero. Assisted by John's ghostly brother, they unravel the mystery of a shape-shifting adversary in the Midwest. But will they bring justice? I like this one. This is very spooky. We have like this historical setting. We have these supernatural aspects like the ghosts. And then we have a serial killer. We have some kind of like bounty hunter. And then there's also this aspect of a brain tumor. So it's a lot of interesting details in here. I feel like there's not enough of Western horror. I would definitely want to read more like supernatural horror that's based in the Western era, because I really love ghost towns. And I would love to see a movie that was like based on some ghost town like Calico or somewhere where it maybe was a supernatural reason why it's a ghost town, or you know, it is haunted or it is cursed or whatever. Like I would love to see that. Maybe there is a movie like that or a book, I'm not sure, but I would totally love that, because as a kid I had a real obsession with ghost towns. Wrath of the Undead by Eric Moreno. This is a post-apocalyptic horror. Madeline Monreal, a biochemist, recounts life in a post-apocalyptic era where teens face a 50% chance of carrying a mutating virus. Amid a restored semblance of normalcy, infected kids risk turning into the undead. In a society where positive screenings lead to execution by armed guards, Madeline dedicates herself to building a permanent cure. Through her narrative, we witness the outbreak's origins and its grueling aftermath as individuals muster the strength to survive or succumb to the wrath of the undead. So I wonder if this is all like epistolatory. Is it through her diary or her files? You know, like how are we being presented with everything? But it sounds interesting. It dripped Ectoplasm. Now this is a comedic horror supernatural, which I feel like comedic horror is like, it's not that popular, but sometimes like when it works, it's just so good. Gorepunk, standalone horror stories with a dirty dose of sex, drugs, and violence. A nightmare roulette with a wicked smile and a progressive heart. Meet Abigail, Bob, Niels, and Stefan, each with their own mission. As killer sex toys terrorize Derby, a band of misfits must unite to reclaim safety between the sheets. Yeah, so the ectoplasm. Yeah, you know what I'm thinking, right? Yeah. So Gorepunk, I feel like is gonna be for a very specific type of audience. But it does like sound like it's gonna be pretty funny. Like I imagine there's gonna be a lot of like puns and stuff. I mean, how could you not, you know? The Wild Dark, The Wild Oblivion book by Katherine, Silva. This is a dark fantasy supernatural, and it's about Elizabeth Liz Raleigh, an ex-cop who grapples with a post-apocalyptic world consumed by a malevolent forest. Haunted by her dead partner, Brody, she navigates a terrifying reality. Brody's ghost appears part of a multitude haunting their loved ones. Liz keeps his death a secret, burying painful memories. The forest, an otherworldly purgatory, engulfs civilization. Sinister wolves hunger for souls, seeking to reclaim the escaped spirits as New England descends into chaos. Liz battles desolation, guilt, and unrelenting terror, braving a brutal winter and a fight for survival. If you want to download this one from Amazon today, it is, I think it's like on sale for like 99 cents. So definitely go and pick that up. I think this might be part of a series, or will be part of a series at some point. This one's really interesting because it's sort of like how nature is like taking things back, but in this book, it's kind of presenting it to be like a bad, like an evil thing. I wonder, are there people who are for nature taking over? So are there those type of people in the story too? Because I feel like there definitely would be. Like, I think I would be more like, yeah, let it take over. You know, like we've really not done a good job taking care of it at all. I don't want to get torn apart by wolves, but I could sleep in a tree. I could sleep in a tree. So those were the 5 books in this episode. I hope you found something here that sounded interesting to you. My favorites were definitely Tales of Horror Madness, the circus horror one, and the Adversary, the Western horror. I'm really liking this like serial killer ghosts, you know, type combo. I love that. So yeah, cool. I hope your summer is going well and you're not burning up too much. Otherwise, please take care of yourselves, look out for each other, and I will talk to you next time.